that would be lovely. My name is Clancy Nixon. I am the Community Engagement Specialist, brand new position for the city, and I'm brand new to the city, so thank you so much for being here. We're hosting our Engage Durango forums every other month on the 4th Tuesday of the month. So your next one will be in January, and we're going to be talking about snow plowing. So I do want to introduce some folks in the room. Chadwick, if you want to come up first.
Yeah.
We do have some interpretation services, so I want Chadwick to introduce himself.
Well, hi, you may have seen me last time. I have worked with Olivia in community interpretation. Soy un maestro de español. I'm really a Spanish teacher, but I'm available si alguien habla español. Levante su mano and I can help you out.
Great. Thank you, Chadwick. And then back over here, we have a couple of ladies, Alyssa and Harper. So childcare services are provided for each of these forums as well. So they're going to be hanging back in the children's section of the library. So if you need that at any time, you know somebody who didn't show up tonight because they had to take care of their kiddos, just know that that's an option for the future. So thank you, ladies, for being here. And then I think it's important to point out, since this is our second time doing this forum, please provide us with your feedback on how you feel like it went tonight. So there are QR codes back on the table. Those laptops over there are set up with surveys to give us your thoughts, because we just want to make these better and better each time we host. So there's also comment cards, and of course you can talk to any one of us to give us your feedback as well. So, and don't forget about the Connect and Engage website. There's plenty of ways to offer your feedback there as well. And with that, I would like to go around and introduce some folks. So I'll let you start, Jose.
Oh, hi. My name is Jose Madrigal. I'm the city manager. Really excited to have this program continue going. Really excited to have Clancy on board as we continue our community engagement efforts and really looking to engage the community in different ways. So as we go through these, we learn, we find different things and different ways to present to the community. Today will be about the budget. It'll be probably a 10 to 15 minute presentation, and after that, we will break apart and allow you to go visit with any of the departments that we have here that are represented for any questions that you have. We have a lot of staff here, which is really good. So I'm going to take a moment just to kind of go around the room and ask for the directors to introduce themselves, just so that you know who they are. And if you see where the department is, you'll know where they're at. So if you can kind of point to where your department is, that'd be appropriate. So I'll start with Sarah.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sarah Hill. I'm the Transportation Director, and that includes parking, transit, and our multimodal program, and I'll be standing in the corner.
Keith.
I'm Keith Doherty. I'm the city engineer. I'm actually standing in for Allison Baker, the Public Works Director.
Joining me, the Public Works Operations Manager. I oversee streets and trash recycle. Also filling in for Allison Baker.
So if you have any snow plowing questions, Joey's there.
There's a bunch of them.
Go over to Scott.
Hello, it's Scott Shine with the Community Development Department. We review new developments and do long-range planning for the community. We also support housing and economic development efforts.
Yeah, Tony McCurry, the Director of Aviation at the Durango County Airport.
Luke Alvin Henderson, Library Director.
Sarah Humphrey, Interim Parks and Recreation Director.
Tom Salutis, I'm a Public Information Officer, just taking photos for social media, in case you see me.
John Morgan, City Attorney.
Jessica Buell, City Councilor.
I'm Ben Florian, I'm Chief Deputy Clerk in the Clerk's Office. Our office manages records requests, business licensing, chicken permits, city council agendas, routing those out, many things.
I'm Justin Carlton, Information Technology Director.
Elliot Bitts, here to support them.
And I'm Erin Hyder, I'm the Assistant City Manager. I'm to answer any city manager type questions with Jose when he joins us and Deb joins us, or any general questions we can direction.
I'm Bob Brammer, I'm the police chief, and we do police stuff, and we'll be over here in the corner.
And I'm Zeta Fail, I'm the 911 Director. We answer all your phone calls for non-emergency and emergency for entire Lake County, and then send you help when you need.
We also have Councilor Yazzie.
Gilda Yazzie, City Councilor.
And then lastly, who's been doing our presentation, I'll kick it over to you.
All right, yes, good evening, I'm Devin Schmidt, I'm our Chief Financial Officer for the City of Durango. There is an abundance of snacks and food, so feel free to grab that while I'm presenting. But thank you guys so much for being here. I'm really looking forward to providing you with a high-level overview of what's included in the 2024 annual budget that is before City Council for final approval on December 5th. So the annual budget for the City of Durango is really reflective of our mission and vision, where the city and employees offer efficient services, we maintain our assets, and we're accountable, ethical, fiscally responsible, so that residents can really enjoy and benefit from the management of our city resources. So what is a municipal budget? The municipal budget is really a detail of all revenues and expenditures that the City of Durango needs to provide services to the community. The municipal budget is similar to your family budget, if you think about it that way, with a major difference being that our City Council is responsible for legally adopting the budget every year. Or throughout the year when we have budget amendments that come up for projects, unanticipated expenses that need to occur. And so really balancing those revenues and expenditures is what equals the quality of life for Durango and why the budget's important. So, why is the budget the most important item that the City Council approves? Well, the budget sets the spending limits for our services.
Sorry, can we do something about the lights?
A little darker, so it's hard to.
Oh, sure.
Super hard to see.
Anybody know? Thank you. Is that better?
Almost. Yeah, there we go.
All right, cool, great.
We can't see you either, that's fine.
That's fine. You can just listen to me. Okay, so the reason why the budget's so important is that it really sets the spending limits for the city that we provide annually. So without the budget, the city is unable to perform services or complete upgrades to capital projects throughout the city. And the budget really reflects the goals of our City Council, community priorities, and is a storytelling document for the community. And so if you were to come by City Hall or look at our budget online, you'll see that it is about 450 pages. That's intentional because it's really our plan as we're moving through the budget cycle for 2024. What you can see here is all the different opportunities that you as a community have the opportunity to engage in the budget process. So we have the Engage Durango Forums, that's one opportunity. Any regular City Council meeting, you can come and discuss on public comment. There's opportunities to discuss there. The Financial Advisory Board also opens their regular meetings with public comment, so that's another opportunity to talk to us about the budget. And then throughout the city, when we have project-specific focus groups where the departments are setting up a project and they're looking for community feedback. So that happens all year. And then as we look at the different months throughout the year, there's other opportunities to engage on the budget. And so in April, we have public comment on the strategic plan adoption. That's really our starting point for the budget. That's where council says, here's our goals, this is what we want you to focus on, and then we work to look how we can fund those goal areas. May, the Financial Advisory Board will have an all-public meeting, and so that's an opportunity to come talk to those folks. They make recommendations to City Council on how to spend some of our special revenue taxes, and so that's a great opportunity. In July, we do offer a budget survey, and so with that, we're really looking for the biggest priorities of the community so that we know what we should fund in that budget year. We also set up several farmers market booths, so you'll see us and the budget team there where you can come chat with us and just give us your kind of informal feedback, ask us questions, and that's just another opportunity to engage. In October, this is where we have the first public hearing on the proposed budget. So at that time, City Council has received the budget, they've gone through it, we've had a retreat, and then we have a public hearing on it for anyone that wants to comment on the proposed budget. In November, we have another public hearing, and that is actually on the appropriation ordinances, and so that is what legally adopts the budget for the city. So that's another opportunity to come and provide your comments and engage on the city budget. And then finally in December, we have a public comment, and we adopt the budget by way of 3 resolutions. So City Council has the opportunity to approve the capital, the operating, and then we do a mill levy certification, which that allows us to say, yes, we agree to the property taxes we're gonna collect from LaPlata County. So those are all of the formal ways that you can engage with us and give us your feedback on the budget. And then finally, by January 31st of 2024, we as staff submit our adopted budget to the Department of Local Affairs. And we also publish the adopted budget book online through our OpenGov, and we also have a PDF. And so at that point, then we're gonna submit that budget to the Government Finance Officers Association for this Distinguished Budget Award presentation. So just wanted you guys to understand and be able to see all the different areas where you can engage with us on the budget and why it's so important. So just a little bit about the budget, just to give you some understanding about where the money comes from. So when we're looking at taxes and fees, when we shop in Durango, we generate sales tax, and that's covering services like Parks and Recreation, 911, police, general government, community development, and community support. And so the city also has a couple dedicated sales taxes. So if you go to the grocery store and you see that 3.5%, 2% of that goes to the general fund, the other portion is for those dedicated sales taxes. And those are gonna cover things like streets infrastructure and maintenance, parks and recreation maintenance, open space and trails, as well as some of the multimodal projects, and as well as some debt that we have with the library in Florida Road. And so that funding bucket also includes property taxes from the county and lodger's tax, which is collected when anyone stays at a hotel, motel, an Airbnb within the city limits. And so those are the taxes and fees. And then as we move into our charges and services, you can think about this section of funding as your utility bills, your utility services for your water and sewer. The Durango Recreation Center does charge a fee if you go there to go swimming or you have a pass or things of that nature. Chapin Hill and Lake Night Horse is another example of those charges and services. And then miscellaneous, so as you're looking at the budget, there's several revenues that are included in this. Primarily this includes some interfund transfers for supported areas like payroll, for example, to provide to an enterprise fund. That's more cost effective for us to have one payroll department versus many for those enterprise funds. So that's an example of miscellaneous. And then intergovernmental, we do receive a lot of federal, state, and local grant partnerships. And that's an example of the recent runway project. That was one where we had a lot of federal funding for. So, and then license and permits. Funding is really required to run a business. So that's, as Ben mentioned, those chicken permits. That would go into this bucket of funding there. And then fines, this is really issued citywide, and so just remember to plug those meters. That's the easiest way to think about that one. And then assessments, this is really the smallest bucket, and that's related to our 50-50 sidewalk program. So the city does offer a program where we will pay for 50% of your sidewalks. So that's a little bit about the revenues and where those dollars come from. And then diving into the expenditures. So this is the second year that the city of Durango has employed a budgeting for outcome process, which really is focusing on the programs and services to the community rather than the traditional approach to budgeting where we're budgeting by department. We do show both in our budget, but what we're trying to show with our outcome budget is the results and how meaningful the services are for the residents and the businesses that are aligned with the funding. So we're taking the large goals that the city council has presented for us, and we are budgeting for how we're going to accomplish those goals. And so what we heard, just some high level in 2024, was around affordability and economic opportunity that ranked very high, specifically in housing. And so the housing budget does have programs in there to advance workforce housing and affordable housing efforts within the city. Environmental sustainability and resiliency was another community priority, and so that's where we're looking to reduce carbon footprint, increase investment in EVs and solar panels, and so those are some examples. And then an effective infrastructure network specifically around accessibility, access and flow for multimodal, and so we've included multiple capital projects in the multimodal division. And then engage collaborative governance. We all met Clancy earlier, and so that's an opportunity for us to really strengthen community input and communications in 2024. So those are just some high level, and I'll take you guys through a few more as we go through. So this is a more traditional approach, and so the 2024 budget will set the capital spending at just over $1.1 million. I'm sorry, $101 million. And the operating budget is at $128.6 million. So this pie chart is reflective of the percentage spend in each departmental area for capital and operating. So you can get a good idea of what the largest percentages are. To make note, Airport has a very large capital projects that they're moving through this year, and so you'll see that is a large portion of the pie chart. Public Works, this includes all of our water, sewer, streets projects, and so that's another large one, as well as Parks and Recreation with all of their improvement projects. So just wanted to give you kind of an understanding of how the budget breaks down by different percentages. So, as we're moving through this, with service at the core of everything that we do, it's the people that work for the city that provide the services, like your toilet flushing, your streets being plowed, having safe neighborhoods, having your 911 call takers' phones answered. This budget includes adding critical positions to better serve the community, and staff will also has the opportunity to receive the 3% cost of living adjustment, as well as a high-performing 2%, and that's for 1/3 of our workforce that really goes above and beyond every year. So wanted to be able to provide how many positions the city is looking to fund in this 2024 budget. So in these next slides, I'm gonna highlight some of the areas that the budget is funding. And so I'll start with affordability and economic opportunity. In the 2024 budget, the Housing Division will receive $9.9 million in housing-related projects. The city will partner with the Economic Development Alliance, and they will collaborate and take place to continue implementing La Posta Road infrastructure. And that strategy is to advance annexation in certain parts of La Posta Road. A lot of this funding does come from our American Rescue Plan Act funds, and so those are federal dollars that were one time during the COVID-19 pandemic that the city received and deployed for housing in La Posta Road. In environmental resiliency and sustainability, they will be looking to reduce the carbon footprint and increase EV and solar panels. In addition, the city is going to continue the essential service worker program, offering rebates for e-bikes. That was a very popular program for 2023, and so that will continue in 2024. In addition, the city is researching water and trash recycle management and multi-family residentials to identify solutions for improving water conservation and recycling participation. So that's one area. And then in the airport, for our effective infrastructure network goal area, the city is going to invest $26 million in airport terminal infrastructure. This is consistent with their 2020 terminal area plan, and this project includes approximately 20,000 square feet of new building construction and heavy remodeling. The addition will also have a new TSA screening checkpoint, post-screening, airline gate, and a hold room, baggage claim, public restrooms, and concessions. So that's a massive project that will take multiple years to complete at our airport. An enhanced livability and sense of place. The Parks Open Space and Trails Quarter Cent Fund will contribute to the Smart 160 Trail. So this is your trail that was formerly under the Bridge to Nowhere, connecting the river trail to Three Springs. And so that is included in the 2024 budget as well. And then also an effective infrastructure network. There will be $9.5 million from the Water Construction Fund, and some of that will support a tank project for state acceptance of clear well and auxiliary tank and yard piping. And so what that'll do is it'll provide us with another redundant water supply for water retainage. So that's another critical infrastructure project that's included. And then if you would like to know more about the 2024 proposed budget, you can utilize this QR code and you can view the budget online on OpenGov. I also have it set up back there if anybody wants a quick little tutorial. I'm happy to run you through that. So after final adoption, on December 5th, the staff will update the proposed budget by January 31st. So you'll see on our OpenGov site, this will change from the city manager's proposed to the City of Durango adopted budget for 2024. And so if you have any questions about that, I'm more than happy to take a few questions. As Clancy and Jose had mentioned, the departments are here for any additional questions, any project-specific questions you may have. They're going to be your best resource to be able to answer any of those project-specific questions. But any general questions I can answer now? Seth, yes?
Yeah, the Financial Advisory Board, does it offer advice to the city on anything beyond the dedicated taxes? Or is it restricted to that as its pool of interest, as it were?
The Financial Advisory Board does also look at water, sewer, capital as well. Airport has a separate advisory board, so. Any other questions that I can answer?
I'll ask you another one. Does the city's budget and city spending extend beyond the city limits? So if there's a project that is outside of city limits, and obviously beyond intended city limits, let's say Love Post being a unique case, can you do that, or is there like a hard geographic limit that you hit city limits, you're done? You can't spend money outside of that line? I don't know.
I would say no. I mean, it's a hard line. If the city were to do that, there would be an annexation process.
So I'm thinking like, you've got recreation, like you've got trail systems, you've got waterways, you've got things that people use and enjoy that fall in and outside the city. I'm like, well, can you do something once it crosses the line, or you gotta stop and say it's outside of my watch? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could say, yeah, I think it's a department, a partnership, and so I think it would depend on if it's a county joint project. We do have the County Road 250, 251. It's a joint project with La Plata County, so I think it would be a project-specific instance.
Thanks.
Any other questions I can answer? All right. Well, thank you all so much for being here. The departments are available to answer any questions.
You guys are rewriting the multimodal plan, right?
An update to it, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I was wondering, walk me through it. I mean, I saw it and made some comments. At the end of the day, I'm like, okay, what catalyzed the desire? What are you hoping to get out of it?
Yeah, so we essentially, from